It's October 19th, 2015. I'm with Mike, or Marcello, D'Alessandro. Mike, when were you born and when did you come to the United States?
I was born February 24th, 1943, and we came to the United States 15th of December 1961.
And where did you come? Did you come directly to Newcastle?
No, we came from Canada. We spent a year and a half in Canada because it was easier to immigrate to Canada than it was to the United States. So we went to Canada and then we came down here.
When did you start working for Amoco?
January 15, 1961.
So almost immediately.
Yes, almost.
And you started at the bottom?
Yeah, I started as labor.
And you were hauling stuff out from the factory at the end of the day?
Yes, to the dump, yes. We're disposing the stuff.
Later on, you moved up to the finishing department. What did you do there?
I was an operator on the machine. We made plastic, but short after that I left because the shift work. I couldn't handle the shift work.
What did the Amoco plant make? Where did it get its materials and what was it used for?
We had trucks running back and forth to Sanoyo to get the byproduct to make plastic. And then they brought it down and stored it in this humongous storage tank. And then we processed it through different machine, and we made the plastic for bottles, for clothes, basket, and we also made it for automobile industry, like the door panel for automobile, and so on and so forth.
And some of the times you went into the machinery itself, the reactors, what was that like?
Yes, when I was in the lab gang, our job was to go in the reactor and clean the stuff that was stuck to the blenders, and it was very intense, because we didn't have any protection. You go in there was a guy out on top and one inside the reactor. They did all the work, and we took turn switching. The only problem is when you come out of that reactor and you walk around on the fresh air, you walk around like you were drunk for about half hour or so until you finally get rid of all that.
There were fumes inside the reactor?
Yes, there wasn't that much fumes, but when you start shipping all the stuff that was stuck to the blender, then all the fume came out of those little particles, and you were right there in front of it, so you could not avoid it.
And there were no masks?
No masks. There was no fan, no mask.
Do you think in general it was a good place to work?
Well, coming from your country, the only thing you got in mind is making $1.
And that's about how much you made? What was your wages?
When I first started, I started with $1.60 an hour. And
that would be 1962.
Yep. Yes.
And so everybody knows about the Amoco because of the explosion. When did the explosion occur, and what were some of the things that led to it?
The explosion happened during the World Series, 1980. And I was not there at the time I was home, but we had a meeting a few days after, and we were told someone didn't follow the procedure. Probably someone took a shortcut because they didn't want to. They want to get back and watch the games or something, the World Series. And the gas that escaped from the reactor, there was a wind blown. It blew right into the finishing department where the machine were extremely hot to make the finished product, and after a while the room got filled with the gases, and there you go, it's a big boom.
And you had already gone home because you had enough overtime hours?
Yes, I was home, and about 5 o'clock, somewhere around 5 o'clock, I heard the fire whistle blow. But I didn't think nothing of it because we had the fast fire whistle blow quite often, false alarm. But that one night the fire whistle blew. About 5-10 minutes later, I heard the big explosion. I jumped in my car. I went down. I got as far as Dublinsville, and they wouldn't let me go in. There was somebody already there blocking traffic, and I seen the place engulfed in fire.
Where did you live at the time?
I live in Van Dyke Village.
And were you happy then, or do you go home and say that we've got to do something?
No, I was not happy because about a month or two prior to the explosion, the general manager had a meeting saying that they were going to enlarge the plant. They were going to spend a couple of $1 million. So everyone was happy, you know, that we had a job. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. And the night of the explosion, I told my family we were sleeping down the cellar because I knew how many storage things were down there. If those things if the fire got to them things, you know, the whole Newcastle would have been in trouble.
You said that you, after this, went to work at the shipping center right next door.
Yes.
And on the same side of the street.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about who was killed. Do you remember anything about any of the people that were killed?
Well, there was so several people got killed, and I strictly sticks in my mind one individual. He was an older guy. He was going to retire in about a month, and he was among one of the guys that got killed. That was sad.